Welcome everyone to their annual Cakrasamvara Empowerment and Drupchö retreat. That's an extra bell. With Drupon Rinchen Dorje Rinpoche and the Garchen Institute Lamas. We're so happy you can all join us for this profound practice. So we'll begin with the yellow prayer book, opening prayers on page 1.
Manam Gadanyam Besim Jin Dom Jedevadante Dongada Nyurdulana Mevayanto Zanjorimboche Tobaso.
All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment. All mother sentient beings, limitless as space, especially those enemies who hate me, obstructors who harm me, and those who create obstacles on my path to liberation and omniscience. May they experience happiness, be free from suffering, and swiftly may they attain precious, unsurpassed, perfectly complete enlightenment.
Gevalaiku Mashi Pardulunga Yesum Gevalaiku Tuterene Zonda Nyama Santo Samjeba Lunga Yesum Gevalaiku.
For that purpose, until I attain Buddhahood, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Until death, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. From today until this time tomorrow, I will apply my body, speech, and mind to virtue. Mandala offering on page 7. We'll do the mandala offering later, and now we will go to page 10 for requesting teachings.
Sem Jenam Jesambata Loye Seda Jedarva Jejon Tumante Baye Chujen Kolo Gordusu.
Please turn the wheel of the Dharma of the greater and lesser vehicles, the teachings common to both and according to the dispositions and mental capacities of sentient beings.
Dorje Changchen de Naro Dam Marva Mela Chuje Gamba Pomo Shova Javan Drigomba Gaju Lama Namla Sorvande Sanger for Sachon Lamale Chanjo Semje de Semena Drova Guna Pemba Zibaye Bande Ade Shala Sorvande Dajantine Chanjo Mato Juba Rinchen Somje Nyamne to Shone Chanjo Semjon Jomadan Chanjo Semje Shendon Chibarasho Java Gundu Yanda Lamadan Jimmy Chuje Bela Nonjo Satan Namji Yonte Rabzone Dorje Changi Compagnon to show. Oh, Tangasun. That I want to show. That a little bit in that show. I can't say it away.
Okay. Drupon is I'm slightly embarrassed that now Garchen Rinpoche happened to come to also receive the empowerment, so he found that a bit strange.
Tene Tangazu Tambote Wanguria Tela Tangazu Wante Padurma Mondodanmadampa, Tetaya Mondoya. The Mondodanmate Karsenata, Nazu Zangak, Chute Zangak Churwa, Tela Tangazu Kalagurze. That's a one core in one course of Farchi Mayune, or to say, to change to be out, to cheat, or to Patayachi, Mondokamat. Ayachi, and Tijila, that true don't truth, that Lunga is on par, Chamaja, or Chamaja, that patient, the Shanazo, no cheating on Kalat local, the Kalat, that no cheat someone to go thin eyes, the Dangazo Zanga, one she had, the Kalagor. So, Lunga is on Patama doing it, they want to do that so, shout to be on or to cheat, don't want to take your race, or that gold that the one drop check, you're writing it on Shogi, they drop is.
So for conferring an empowerment, there are a few preliminary activities to be performed, and the first one is to offer a preliminary Dharma, which is a Vajrayana secret mantra ritual to send away all kinds of obstacles for the empowerment, and also to create the favorable conditions for receiving the empowerment. And then the second preliminary is the purification, the ritual purification. And so here we need to purify, before we receive the empowerment, we need to purify the stains of our body, speech, and mind, which is just like when you're pouring food into a bowl, you first want to clean the bowl. So first we need to be a suitable vessel for receiving the secret mantra empowerment. And to become a suitable vessel, we need to purify the defilements of our body, speech, and mind. And then once they are purified, once these preliminary activities are accomplished, then the actual power of the empowerment can then enter our mind. And then also another preliminary practice of the empowerment is the self-empowerment, which I have already completed this morning.
Om Begane Dajeda Hom Pi Om Su Baba Shuda Sarva Dharma Su Baba Shudo Han Dong Be Ngli Yam Le Long Ram Le Me Jin Ko Je Deng To Om Ma Hong Tobe Ji Ve Zom La Ne Be A Le Toba No Yang Xian Jia Che Ve Na De U Da Cho Ye Hong Om Kam Zhang Bam Am La Bam Mam Bam Dam Le De Se Nga Dang Zhou Ma Nga Cho Rang Ke Sa Wong Le Rang Ke Sa Wong Le Zhe Ba Nong Ke Long Ke Me Bara Goro Ve Sang Wong Tang Ji Be Zin Nang Xu Wa Ni Ma Che Gan Da Wu Kan To Jian Tie Lang Pa Le Zhou Be Ngu Ju Do Dang Cong Be Ka Ram Ka Wo De Da Ba Ti Ni Xu Ne Du Se Tang Yi Mi Dun Ji Be Ji Be Ding Tu A Yi Wu Re Le Wong Wong A Ga Ka Kan Ga Za Zhen Zhen Yan Na Zhe Zhen Zhe Dan Da Da Dan Da Na Ba Pa Am Ba Ma Ya Ra La Ba Xia Ka Sa Ha Jia Yong Su Qi Ru Wa Le O Ma A Hong Deng Ne Deng Tu Zi Ba Ne Be Jin Ko Jie Ko Lo Zong Jie Wang Ke La Na Ra Ni Wang Ke La Na Wang Ke La Na Ko Lo Zong Jie La Na Man Chuo Sim Qian Jie Cong Jie Nyun Ba Ke Wei Yi Ge Zong La Tam Xin Yi Ge Zong Ya Tam Se Ke Du Se Tang Tam Se Ke Du Se Tang Ni Su Mi Ban Zhe Ni Su Mi Ba Ra Chu Ro Om Ka 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 Ye Sarva Ya Cha Ra Cha Bu Da Bu Da Be Sha Za Om Ma Da Aba Ma Ra Ra Ka Ra Ke Ne Da Ye Ma Ba Le De Na Du SAMAYA Ra Jian Du Sarva Si De Me Ra Ya Tian Ba Ya Tian Me Ra Ya Tian Zu Du Ya Tian Ba Ya Tian Ka Ra Bu Ba Da Zi Ga Buzata Brivata Zigata Made Garmade Mama Ga Ya Si Sukan Bi Chuda Sa Ya Ka Ba Hong Hong Pi So Ha Om Ka 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 Ye Ka Sarva Ya Cha Ra Ja Bu Da Bi Da Be Sha Za Om Da Aba Maran Ra Ka Ra Ke Ne Da Yama Mel Zhe Ne Samaya Ra Jian Du Mama Se Ra Ba Se De Me Ra Ye De Me Ye De Ka Ran Buzata Brivata Zigat Jamade Mama Ga Ra Si Sukan Bi Chuda Sa Ya Ka Ba Hong Hong Pi So Ha Om Ka 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 Ye Ka He Sarva Ya Cha Ra Ja Bu Da Be Sha Omada Aba Maran Rakan Rakan Da Yam Riana Samaya Ra Mama Sarvasi De Mira Yatim Ba Yatim Karam Bazatan Barba Tegata Jamade Mamagara Sisukan Beshuda Saya Kabavendu Hong Pi Soha Laye Sona Malutan, Luye Sona Malut, Loji Sona Malutan, Simbu Sona Malutan, Jumbo Sona Malutan, Shazi Sona Malut. Simbo Sona Malutan, Jumbo Sona Malutan, Shazi Yida Sona Malutan, Shazi Sona Malut, Yoji Sona Malutan, Jiji Sona Malutan, Mamo Sona Malut, Karo Sona Malutan, Mamo Sona Malut, Malu Bane Tampita, Derke Dala Gonsu Zora, Chuki Dorman de Yela, Major Dasan Kurji, Nemi Setan Wanchu Tang, Betang Chatan Garba, Longchu Jia Chen Guiton Zu, Shetan Jila Sobaye, Lejian Wazho Dala Zuru, Tamse Jinje Dala Zong, Wazho Gunji Gaji, Tumi Chetan Nidang Tang, Dongtan Gay Nan Sevan Zu, Melam Yan Tang Sema Yan, Jik, Chetian Yan Ba Mi Ban Zu, Jitan De Xin, Lulei Ba, Runan Perkin Chun Bel, Derek Tam Jin Zho Ba Tang, Yilan Do Ba Gun.
And then next is the purification.
Tiki Daki Chu Shivo Sarvata Tangata Bekan Gade Samaya Yehon Benzara Sadu Samaya Manu Balaya Bazara Sadu Dino Bara Di Janji Chu Meba Sudu Kayo Me Baba Subu Kayo Me Baba Anuratu Me Baba Sarva Sedi Me Barayit Sarva Karma Sutsa Me Zidami Yam Guru Mong Ha 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 ho Bangavin Sarva Data Gata Banzara Maven Munzin Banzara Baba Mai Samaya Sadu Om Banzara Sadu Samaya Manu Balaya Banzara Sadu Dino Bara Di Chanji Chu Me Baba Sudu Kayo Me Baba Subu Kayo Me Baba Anuratu Me Baba Sarva Siddhi Me Barayit Sarva Karma Sutsa Me Zidami Yam Guru Ha 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 ho Bangame Sarva Data Gata Banzara Mame Munze Baba Mae Samaya Sadu Om Benzara Sadu Samaya Manu Balaya Banzara Sadu Dino Bara Di Chanji Chu Me Baba Sudu Kayo Me Baba Subu Kayo Me Baba Anuratu Me Baba Sarva Siddhi Me Barayit Sarva Karma Sutsa Me Zidami Yam Guru Ha 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 ho Bangave Sarva Data Gata Banzara Mame Munze Banzara Ma Samaya Sadu Tene Dangasu Tata Tiwan Chishurati Wan Tambu Titan Tangaransu Tenjor Ni Gawa Tse Meta Le Jimje So Kurveni Me that is Yura or the Lord Shilafgura or the Yabo Gomgores, the Zodis Gomtine or the kitchen boarding as of Carson. This so many young some of these on Yamnachi Pentoy or the Indite Chi that Chanjo Sem is going with Chamba Ninja Chanjo Sem. Or that Jamnija Chanjo Semina Zanga Karina, young Taba Chakmaratini. The Chamba Senata, Simpian Tampi, Deva on the hands on the Chambara, the Dungar Senate, Tampi, Dungar Tanches on some Ningerwa, or the cheat in it, then Dungar cheated, Sanjay, the Sanjay to Yami over the Chancho Sems, what they do, what that the Chancho Sems, this was this kitchen borders. What in the one said the Jizumilik, someone Davala once, what they want in the one, what the one to send What in a Dickinson was over Carson was a Chancho Son Chong, Yadam Class, Chancho Sam the Chong, Yadam Class, that Chancho Sam, so Hitchine, the Yadam Class Chong got his own door, or just want every like comes down as a general. They want to go to social tag one and just want every like come. Go pantamin on Yan Loss, go pat and time making no one the Shimbatas or daughter creation, what is on the thing, literally. Or that is what this Chamni the Chancho Center kitchen borders.
So then for the empowerment, before we start with the empowerment in the beginning, it's important to when we first develop a mind of renunciation, which means that we should reflect a little bit on the difficulty of finding a precious human body, on the impermanence of this life, on karma, cause and effect, and the suffering nature of samsara. It's important to really think about these so that some renunciation to samsara arises in the mind, because that will really enhance one's practice. And then after that, it is also important to cultivate a motivation of bodhicitta, of love and passion. Because if we lack that, if we fail to give rise to bodhicitta, then no matter which Vajrayana deity we practice, it will not become an authentic practice. And love means the wish for all sentient beings to be happy. Compassion means the wish for all sentient beings to be free from suffering. And bodhicitta is the mind that wishes to establish all beings in the state of enlightenment, to freedom from suffering permanently. That's most important, actually. So regarding the empowerment, Milarepa also said, during the empowerment, we are empowered or led into the profound view. And also Jiten Sumgön had said that the Yidam deity that arises, where does it come from? He said the Yidam deity arises out of bodhicitta. So from a mind of bodhicitta, based on a mind of bodhicitta, you should visualize yourself in the rainbow-like form of the deity. So this is the empowerment of the generation stage, where we are instructed to visualize ourselves as the deity, appearing like a rainbow in the sky. And it is said that the purpose of visualizing ourselves as the deity is to turn away ordinary concepts, ordinary perceptions of ourselves. And so that is the purpose of the generation stage. But at the very beginning, what is most essential is that this practice is based on love, compassion, and bodhicitta.
很悲苦嘛呀，那那做过这他做同大他会不会？大家看这个他因美国也针对，这当从这有呗，很悲去莫康个是追呢，如果他头嘛的，从这有呢，往提同大提怎么要不门口呢？我在人家他做的同大提起，对方把这当从这儿往南这条的这往过来，那做过的同大提的意思。
So, Jiten Sumgen also said that a person who has cultivated love and compassion will be seen as like a parent by all sentient beings. Whoever sees them will see them in that way. And also, it is said regarding now the Cakrasamvara empowerment specifically, it is especially a practice powerful during the degenerate times. Milarepa also had said that during these times, Cakrasamvara is a very powerful, precious deity. And he said that the outer adornments of the deity are the charnel, ground, bone ornaments, which represent this quality of the deity. And he said that if one receives the empowerment, it is the Dakini's commitment, the SAMAYA, that the siddhis, the blessings and siddhis will be received. So when you receive the empowerment, then the Dakinis make sure you receive the siddhis and all the blessings of the empowerment. So therefore, receiving the empowerment and engaging in its practice is indeed a very great blessing. And also in some of the texts, it is said that, generally speaking, at the end of any Vajrayana practice, normally the mandala of this practice is dissolved, except for the Cakrasamvara mandala actually. That is actually not dissolved. And that is also because of its great blessings and powers. And so, anyways, Drupon reiterates that he feels still a little uncomfortable that Garchen Rinpoche is receiving the empowerment, because it should be really him giving the empowerment. But in any case, he says, regarding the lineage of the empowerment, Jiten Sumgen had said that any dharma that possesses lineage is profound. And so I myself have received so Drupon himself has received the empowerment from His Holiness Jetsun Rinpoche and also His Eminence Garchen Rinpoche. And so for receiving the empowerment, it's most important that we understand the meaning of the empowerment. It's not so much about having the vase, the empowerment vase placed onto your crown. So nowadays we can't do that anyways. But it's very important that we understand the meaning of the empowerment. Jiten Sumgen has also said in the Gongchik that when the meaning of the empowerment arises in your mind, that's when you actually receive the empowerment. So therefore, it's important that while you receive the empowerment, that you also really reflect on the meaning of those words, the meaning of the empowerment. Also, Jiten Sumgen had said, if through the empowerment one does not let go of the dualistic thoughts of a subject-object duality, then even if you would purify your body, speech, and mind with empowerment vase using the entire water from the river Ganges, it would be of no benefit. You wouldn't completely purify. It would still not be authentic, as long as you can't let go of those dualistic thoughts of subject and object. So therefore, the real way to receive the empowerment is not so much the vase or the vase water, but it's to listen carefully and to really understand and take in the meaning of the empowerment. So when we receive an empowerment, those who confer the empowerment and those who receive the empowerment all must have a pure motivation. And so now first we will offer a mandala.
In the yellow prayer book on page 7, in English only. An infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping. Completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial, the supreme mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Deva Kini Ratna Mandala Prakti Cha Swaha.
Denne ta wang tong da la zuru wan de bia de nga zu jin du zhe qi qi si ba.
And then please repeat the following supplications in order to receive the empowerment.
Garchen chu da dong ba de lo pong chu ne gong su zo ro chang chu qian bu cui dian ba gong bo qian bu da ce lo tam ce de ni da la zo ro chang chu xian jiang da la zo ro sang jie chu dang gen du de jiab song ta jiang da la zo ro tar ba qian bu chong chuo de gong bo da ne xiu de zo ro gong bo da ne xiu de zo.
We will do it once in English. Great joyful one, my teacher, master, please consider me. Supreme Master, who guides on the path to great awakening, please grant me SAMAYA, grant me the mind of awakening, grant me the 3 refuges of Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha. Protector, let me enter the exalted city of great liberation.
Tene ta rang kan du la ko lo den jo la zo sama xiu de wa ti zang zu wa jia ko xiu ta wo ti wang go ya ci ji tan de ma de jun cha nga se do nga nam da sen do nga nam da o nga nam da se ya te ka shen jia sen do ya ta de fa ya ya ge wa ji si yang ji ya chang xiu sen ji ne song ya wo za ji de mo wan dong de xiu sa li wo ti nga wo se nga nam da se wo za te nga zo 错啥呀？这办法讲特别偏学的。真的，他强学生可以进步一种学的呢，强学生记英文记吧，如可是让人同你说不着些，强学生的记吧，就是他让人呢那个个地方，他走上街特别什么的强学生的穷学的是，这现在偏头的是，让人你给让人你给同他这边的强学生他说嘛的种多问题呢，我被给进步多这种。
So when we repeat these supplications for receiving the empowerment, also imagine that the space in front of you is Cakrasamvara, surrounded by the assembly of his Mandala deities. And so then the next supplication that we will repeat is called the Five Purities. And so that consists of 5 branches. That is, we take refuge and we confess all negativities. We rejoice in the virtues of self and others, and we cultivate bodhicitta, and we dedicate those virtues. So these are 5 purities or pure offerings in order to accumulate merit and purify obscurations. And what's most important is to cultivate bodhicitta. And so in this supplication, this prayer, it says, so for the purpose of others and myself, I give rise to bodhicitta. So it's the purpose of others and oneself. If you cultivate bodhicitta, it is also to your own greatest benefit. It is the cause of all temporary and ultimate happiness. And also it is that which actually helps, benefits others. It is said that there is really nothing greater one can do in order to benefit self and others than cultivating bodhicitta.
Guangzhou Somla, Dajamche, Digba Mege, Sosorya, Drovegela, Jeyinrong, Sanje Changchup, Yije Song, Sanje Chodang, Songchola, Changchup Fartu, Jabsenche, Rangyen Tongni, Rabdorche, Changchup Semne, Jibarache, Changchup Choke, Semne, Jijine, Simjian Tamchi, Dake, Dongtunyere, Changchup Juncho, Yewon, Jibarache, Drola Pencher, Sanje, Drobarasho, Drola Pencher, Sanje, Drobarasho.
And then in English, I take refuge in the three jewels and confess all evil and unvirtuous deeds. I rejoice in the virtues of all beings, and I will hold the Buddha's awakening in mind until attaining awakening. I take refuge in the Buddha, the Dharma, and the Supreme Assembly in order to fully accomplish the purpose of others and myself. I give rise to bodhicitta, having given rise to the mind of supreme awakening. I welcome all beings. I will practice the supreme bodhisattva conduct that is pleasing to all. May I attain Buddhahood for the benefit of all beings.
That's in Jola, the Ringe Tamse Sungi Sawati, Jendo Chiaji, or the Chishanda, in Jutoya,
So next we come to the repeating the SAMAYA of the 5 Buddha families. And so it's quite clear in the English, so doesn't require an explanation.
Seche Sanji, Tamji Tang, Babu Nanjoro, Manam Gun, Dala Gompara, Zito Zoro, Dagmin Dije, Chevaye, Tundene, Nezon Nes, Chisi Chancho, Nimbo Para, Chedar Tusum, Gombo Nam, Chanchop Tune, Yenzi Jane, Chancho Semne, Lanami, Tamba Dake, Jibarachi, Suchim Chene, Labatan, Give Chune, Dubatan, Simjian Tongji, Suchim Zum, Sosor Dembor, Songwanachi, Sanje Nanjoro, Dzambhala, Sanje Chodang, Gendu De, Lana Mibe, Guanchozum, Taina Zamde, Songwanachi, Dorje Rikcho, Chambola, Dorje Chivu, Chaojayang, Tekonani, Songwanachi, Lopon Tajang, Songwanachi, Rinchen Rikcho, Chamboye, Tamse Yitu, Omala, Nire Shintu, Tudo, Jimba Namje, Dadojin, Changcho Chimbo, Le Chongwei, Beme Rikchen, Tabala, Chenang Zangwei, Tikpa Zum, Tambe Chune, Songwanachi, Leje Rikcho, Chimbola, Domba Tamchi, Dembane, Yanda Nito, Songwarachi, Chobe Lejang, Jinuchi, Changcho Semne, Lami Cho, Tamba Dake, Jejin, Simchen Gunji, Tongje Chere, Dake Domba, Malu Song, Majervanam, Jervachi, Majorvanam, Jorvarchi, O Majinam, O Yongki, Yongsun Yange, Delagu, Dake Domba, Malu Song, Majervanam, Jervachi, Majorvanam, Jorvachi, O Majinba, O Yongki, Yongsun Yange, Delagu.
In English. All the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, Dakas and Dakinis, please heed me, just as the Buddhas, after 3 times, gave rise to bodhicitta, so shall I give rise to unsurpassable, sublime bodhicitta, from this day onwards, until attaining enlightenment, with the SAMAYA of the Buddha family, I will practice and firmly uphold the 3 types of ethical discipline: the discipline of refraining from negative actions, the discipline of practicing virtue, and the discipline of benefiting beings. From now on, I will always follow the Buddha, Dharma, and Sangha, the unsurpassed 3 jewels, with the SAMAYA of the Supreme Vajra family. I will always hold the mudra of Vajra and Bell as a sign of the ultimate nature, with the delightful SAMAYA of the Supreme Ratna family. I will engage in the 4 types of generosity throughout the 6 times of day and night, with the SAMAYA of the pure lotus family, born from great awakening. I will uphold all Dharma teachings, the outer, inner, and secret vehicles, with the SAMAYA of the Supreme Karma family. I will truly uphold each and every vow, and I will make offerings to whatever extent I am able. I will give rise to sacred, unexcelled, supreme bodhicitta for the sake of all beings. I will fully uphold all vows without exception. I will free those who are unfree. I will liberate those not liberated. I will give breath to those without breath. I will establish all sentient beings in nirvana. Actually, I forgot to mention one thing before, which is quite important, and that is the lineage. Because we did mention that a Dharma that possesses lineage is very profound, and so we should mention the lineage. and especially since this is the practice blessing lineage, which means that the blessings are received through actual practice, mantra recitation, and so on. And so that's why the lineage is very important. And I already told you where I have received this lineage from, but now I will mention the general lineage. Oh yeah, so I will read it then. So the lineage of gurus is as follows. Drupon Rinchen gave it to his heart son Rinchen Namgyal, and it was then gradually transmitted through the scholar Chandrakirti, the master Yeshe Gyamtso, Venerable Drupchö, Lama Rinchen Gyalpum, the Mahasiddha Bema Garwang, the master Mangtu Namgyal, the Acharya Sunam Chöbel, Shamar Garwang Chugi Wangchok, and the master Dharmakirti. So this empowerment text is called the co-emergent or the innate Cakrasamvara empowerment. And generally these innate empowerments follow the tradition of Drupchö. So it's the master Gandapada in Sanskrit. And it is this lineage is in union, is combined with the lineage of that deriving from Vajradhara and having been passed down to Tilnoba, Naroba, and so forth.
Oh yeah, the so tadi migdar se kongo sares.
Please wear the blindfold now.
Om Dzachö Ba Benda Varamana Yapon Om Arham Vera Hon Lom Nyenga Gudup Chancho Simji Ngobon Dabe Jingo Dawa Nyakam Wisu Tongtam Chancho Simji Ranji Dorje Number and Sambara Shot. That's also Ningala Gudup Chancho Sim Jingo Dawa Nyakam Noise. Take on Tongtam Chancho Sim Jingo Dorje Ranji. What is yours? And so the next thing that at your heart there is a full moon disk which has the nature of the relative bodhicitta, and on top of the moon disk is a vajra that has the nature of the ultimate bodhicitta. Please repeat. Om Sarva Yoga Siddha Uba Dayame Om Surade Nama Namade Samaya Dam Hosede Banzaraya Hon Tenchu Jet Ibatam Chinjala Bar Chinjala Ibatam Choto Zamande Chuji Jinkor Mayoga Namla Mawa Mejawa Madipa Nana Maino Jito Jorue. Or that Jinko Dorje to go Hason something, Jinko Mayowa, Labway Maria Sondo.
So now I think that this vajra is placed onto your crown, which is a binding to secrecy, meaning that the inside of the mandala should not be disclosed to those who have not entered the mandala.
Nama de hon, nama me hon, namo nama hon soha, nama de hon, nama me hon, namo nama soha, nama de hon, nama me nam hon, namo nama soha, dene chujinyara bechu, tamse zon, tamse nyamna zay baraji, tamse zon na wuru de durje du ze chun. Chundong he penze anmeda uda kata za mela du dorje habe tenze tengdene mela du dorje habe tene zamde chujing changna dorje go wa ngai king de go wa hi de kang go wa de chuji chaba chago so chujing ala ni bara nanya me jabo kede de dar china ju yang a bara ma ba me chibe ni so don ne nyara ba chur dare tigi wadanji 진제 랍도 버더제 선바 야 제도시고사 제도시 진압 바비아 진압 손바비아 소소
which is as application to send down the blessings.
Tijin Yikwa, Tamchiji, Chinja Lab the Soro, Bardurje Samba, Dala, Ab the Soro, Chanoe. That is it.
Then in English, I request all Tathagatas to bestow their blessings, and I supplicate the glorious Vajrasattva to descend upon me.
Tene Dan Tesurvata, Tene Lomi Kiki, Loma Giji, Ombani, Jes, Ali Chong, Sonawanta, Gundo, Marabo, Ye, Bemata, Yonti, Tribunzi, Yonti, Sembe Tribunzi, but Ye Jang, King Be, Nika, Alamli, Saye, Jin, Koroserbo, Trushe, Baradurjezi, Jive, Deva, Nema. La Hong Bon Semba Go Bamle Chu Jin Koro Carbon Bo Benzen Bar Us Davala Ag Garabo Driba Yang Li Long Jin Koro Bo Shu Da Faden Yuba Niji and Semba Davala Amarbo Company Ji Wone Long Jin Koro Barbe Ramle Me Jin Kor Marabo Trosom Yige Ram Jensen Be was an Trove and Ebenze Marabo Nomade Bashit Rankinike Samole was a Namje Gusong to Jedurji Gusong to Durje Hasonam Jan Chan Tenamje Rangi Hong Ha Igenam La Demshin Gambi Hogan and Zains was there and they was there Kobe Hong Lasso. Was there Namalu, Tamjine Kone Kamara Churwa,
So the visualization for the descent of the wisdom beings and the blessings is the following. From the state of emptiness, the disciple arises as an A syllable in an instant. The R transforms into Vajra's speech, Buddha Amitabha, red in color, holding a lotus in the right hand and the symbolic bell in the left. Standing upright, his right leg is extended. From the Lam syllable at the heart arises an earth mandala, yellow with 4 corners and marked with a Vajra. At the hub of the Vajra is a sun disk and a blue hung. From the bum at your crown arises a water mandala, white, round, and marked with a vase. At the center of the vase are a moon disk and a white ha syllable. From the yam at your throat appears a wind mandala, blue, bow-shaped, and marked with 2 flowing silken banners. At the center of the wind mandala are a moon disk and a red ah syllable. From the Ram syllable, which was set alight by the wind mandala below your feet, arises a fire mandala, red, triangular, and marked with the syllable Ra. Within the light rays emanating from the Ra is a red Ze syllable that causes you to hover above the ground. The light rays radiating from the seed syllable at your heart invite the assembly of deities of Vajra, mind, speech, and body. They descend in their nature, dissolving into the syllables Hung, Ha, and Ah. While the Ze remains, the light radiating from the Ze enters your feet from below, and all the masters of light, including the light radiating from the Hung and so forth, fills up your body entirely.
Be ya damba ya ra zalaya hong an ze de chambanzar oda dorje jaram go la shason tari so chenhabt menyam le cheat.
So now think that the Vajra is placed onto your crown in a crossed manner, and that symbolizes the locking in of blessings, so they won't decline. So then we need the mandala and to cast the flower on the mandala.
SAMAYA chi mana chi say the function method. Doesn't much.
Rinpoche's
I can't
the flower.
tell it. I can't vera drade gus benze le ta po. Really, really. That you know, that remote last one. Or the cheat some make that was a metal punch. The cheat in that method, the Jinko Khan of one, the Dorje motor to be on. Chang of one, the Lineage motor to be on. Or the normal in the bit mere motor to be on. The long one. The Rinchen that she didn't want us, so that she was by one trouble thing or to be at G one, that short motor to be at. Or the Jinko in time courses of one time motor translate to be on. What is it that the Chilo Malone, the tongue of the Chilo Malo? What is it that the Gene don't have something, not so much short motor.
So, Garchen Rinpoche, on our behalf, I just had cast the flower onto the mandala, which is symbolic of a kind of indicative of which siddhi will be attained by us as a whole. And so, generally speaking, so when the flower falls onto the eastern direction, then that is a sign that indicates that we will attain the siddhi belonging to the Vajra family. When it falls onto the northern part of the mandala, then that is a sign of attaining the siddhis related to the karma family. If it would fall on the western part of the mandala, then that is a sign of attaining the siddhis belonging to the lotus family. And if it falls on the southern part of the mandala, it's a sign of attaining the siddhis of the ratna or the jewel family. So these are four families, or the siddhis related to these four, are the siddhis of the four enlightened activities of pacifying, subduing, or the wrathful activities, increasing, and the overpowering or magnetizing activities. And if the flower falls right into the center of the mandala, then we will attain the supreme siddhi. Then if it falls toward like somewhere around the periphery on the outer part of the mandala, then we will have a little bit of siddhi only. And it's better if it never falls outside of the mandala. And so in any case, now Garchen Rinpoche on our behalf had cast the flower, and the flower fell right into the center, which means we all will attain the supreme siddhi. Please remove the blindfold. So now, having removed the blindfold, think that by removing the blindfold, I have now directly seen, I behold the ultimate mandala of Cakrasamvara. Zobo ke tu ke samo le bo je lo ma nam la go be lo me gu yib ju do je lam ne yom je be ma pa be jum de be ko lo dum jum de ko lo dum ba len chi
Jumden de Kolo Numba Lenji Gundo Wambo Xie Jian Song Wan Chiwa Jingzi Zeba Cha Ni Dorje Tang Chibun Ziba Yomna Chiwa Xia Yong Gom Ye Jiangwen Ji Ji Tang Ji Xia Yong Gom Ji Ji Tang Yong Ye Jiangwei Tun Nen Ba Repe Tur Zo Lan Da Ji Tang Nur Na Zo Tur Jie Jian Ba Chao Jia Chou Tang Tar Jiang Jie Guan Chen Da Hua Jie Jiang Wa Ka Re Gu Nyam Tang Den Bei Bang Tu Yom Dur Jie Pang Mo Gu Do Ma Mo Che Gu Tang Tu Ban Zi Ba Zhe Zhou Xin Xiao Jie Nga Tang Guan Chen To Kam Ken Chen Wa Xia Yong Gom Ye Ya Lan Chi Wa Ni Ka Yi Xie Me Pong Ba Wei Wu Na Xiu Ba 我当时认得是几个是吧？第一段，那我把我头是被买的穷的，往去对我那可把确实这边原被买穷的，往就是对我这他可送上吧，我真的他多呀，对吧？真的老不开。 都干的上网了，就是阶段扩张几把网看他的阶段对那块见尝试，对吧？这嘛东西。
So now next we come to the actual empowerment, the main part of the empowerment. So it says for the visualization here, so the light radiating from the seed syllable at the heart of the Vajra Master, appearing as the principal deity, summons the disciples who then enter the mouth of the Vajra Master. So for the you visualize Cakrasamvara now here appearing in red color, and so Vajra Yogini, sorry, the consort in the red color and one face and two arms, and her right leg is extended and the left one is bent, and then she has all the various adornments of the way it appears in the text, in the sadhana. So in any case, so the Vajra Master summons the disciples through the light radiating from the seed syllable at his heart, and then the disciple enters into the mouth of the Vajra Master, then passing through his body and the Vajra path, they enter the lotus of the mother, and so the disciple then enters the lotus of the mother and assumes the form of the Bhagavan, the innate Cakrasamvara, according to the visualization in the sadhana. Then they are expelled from the lotus of the mother, so they being the disciple. So you, the disciple, is then expelled from the lotus of the mother, and you take seat on the empowerment shrine. Then the light radiating from the seed syllable of the Vajra Master's heart invites the Buddhas of the 10 directions, together with their retinue, in the form of the empowerment deities, into the space in front of you. And so, when you visualize the deity in this way, you should think that all of this appears very clearly, but it lacks any substantial existence.
Jume Chedarze Tedazela Zara to Soro He Zurbada Bese Duji Jinkorki Wanke La Nam Gompanzi Jam Wanke La Jumdendi Yamim Rinpoche Homba Yi He Dusi Kanwa Namne Wang Gorove Changshu Sampa Namji Rahiju Chobo Namji Gaidi Yom Namji Durje Lune Le Putan Homona Jura Denki Shos Dotang Forjan Sen La Sope Zijan Metoke Koro Chanbea Bara Chanbea Himbala.
So then the empowerment father and mother deities hold jeweled vases and bestow empowerment by pouring the nectar of the 5 wisdoms into your crown. The bodhisattvas proclaim verses of auspiciousness. The wrathful ones send away hindrances, and the mothers sing Vajra songs. The gods and goddesses hold parasols and victory banners above the disciples, and a rain of flowers, saffron, and so forth showers down. Next, please repeat.
Jumdendi Tijin Yigwagun Jumdendani Chenpo Nam Tukje Rangi Jianamje Choje Dala
Before that, there was one section which I didn't read yet, so before we repeat. So in this class of empowerment, the 4 empowerments are represented by touching the vase at the 4 directions and center of the disciple's crown, who is then offered the empowerment nectar. This purifies the 5 afflictive emotions, transforms the 5 aggregates, awakens the essence of the 5 wisdoms, and places the seeds and imprints of the 5 Buddhas into their mind streams. And so now please repeat in English. Through your kindness, I will accomplish the purpose of others and myself. Please grant me the treasure of compassion, the empowerment of the Vajramaster.
Sanje kunje jimbaraje om banzara daga ambe kenza suradam. Awesome. Tene that's chi tene zeri do tadaki that's lomi ki nyomombe nyomoba nga parjan pumbo nga ne jora yihe nga ngo chin jawarang samwo ju le share sam that's china.
So now I'm saying that through this empowerment, which is the base empowerment, the 5 afflictive emotions are purified, and the 5 aggregates have transformed, and the 5 wisdoms have arisen in your mind, and the seeds of the 5 Buddha families is placed into your mind.
That's it. What it is, Marson, the Sarvata and Gata and Becans at the months, the Himat on the Sarvata and Gata and Becans at the month. She has or whatever one can have about you. Banzar Ganzo Uga Ambe Kanzadama Sura de Dam she won't go with Tize Lome Tize Loma Devajim Posum Sobachilama Lome Lars even Cheva Mechu Nata is Rinchen Dorje Dapa or Pamit Nata Yonze Toyota Jiwa number Nazi. Jiwa number Nazi Ujam, but I chose what that's doing. Sorry. That's also the choice of the Rati, one Chutia, quality, right, the Kujan Sons and Doa, the one.
So then it says, so then thus supplicating, the empowerment deities holding Vajra and bell confer the empowerment. And then the Vajramaster places Vajra and bell into the hands of the disciples. And then the Vajra arisen from Hung is placed into the right hand, and the bell arisen from Am is placed into the left hand. The disciple displays the embracing mudra, and the Vajramaster says, brilliant youth possessing the wits of a 16-year-old, clasp your hands round perfectly. With Vajra and bell united, you are empowered to be deemed the Vajramaster. Holding the great Vajra and great bell, grant your blessings unto the Vajra. Having become a Vajramaster today, you may gather disciples. As the empowerment is thus conferred, perfect great bliss arises in the disciple. The nectar overflows at the crown of the disciple, visualized as the deity, and forms a crown ornament of Akshobhya at the forehead, Ratnasambhava behind the right ear, Amitabha at the nape of the neck, Amoghasiddhi behind the left ear, and Bharochana at the crown.
Mezar Bube Bardins, so Mazar Dube Bardins, so Mazar Aloge Bardins, so Mazanginde Bardins, so Mazanavede Bardins, so Tangadi, Singat, since he quoted or not.
So next we come to the transmission of the mantra. So we repeat the mantra.
Lo Bon La Zibe took a train, Li train, Nipa, Manme, Niji, Sutu, Tone, Lomalar Zive now. Nawa para Hyoshin Kalan Kor Sam.
So the visualization for that is from the mantra garland at the heart of the Vajramaster, visualized as the deity, emerges a second mantra garland, like one fire flame kindling another. It leaves from his mouth, enters into the right nostrils of the disciples, visualized as the deity, and begins to circle around the seed syllable at their hearts.
Please
repeat the mantra. In English, Bhagavan, as I have taken you to be my master, please take me under your care.
And
then please repeat the mantra.
Om Yir Mazara. He he. Ruru. Kam. Hum hum pi. Dragene. Zala Sambaram. Soha. Om Yir Mazara. He he. Ruru. Kam. Hum hum pi. Dragene. Zala Sambaram. Soha. Om Yir Banzara, he ru, gam hum pi, dragene, zala, sambaram, soha, om, sarvam buddha dragene, banza vanane, hum, pi soha, om, sarvam buddha dragene, banza vanane, hum, pi soha, om, sarvam buddha dragene, banza vanane, banza berozane, banza vanane, hum, pi soha. That is she. Or to that one go rechuji online from the that one go rechuji since in Korku can tone. When they want to two more luge, so was up liaison chima, Ngarzapa, Jan Chima, Dam, two more my Tamenzi, Chima Drune, Druku Nuba Chepa, Lamjana Gombala, once do Chuji Gumod.
Having thus received empowerment, you enter and behold the outer mandala of characteristics. You have received the base empowerment, and in general the defilements of mainly the three non-virtuous deeds accumulated with the body are purified and prevented from further arising. In particular, the defilement of perceiving the body as ordinary is cleansed. The extraordinary power of the Nirmana Kaya is planted into your mind. As for the path, you are empowered to practice the generation stage. As for the result, you are endowed with the fortune to actualize the Vajra body. So then in order to receive the secret empowerment, we will offer a mandala. We have to do that in the beginning of every empowerment.
In the yellow prayer book on page 7 in English, an infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms, if I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping, completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial. The supreme mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Devada Kini Ratna Mandala Praktishta Soha.
Chuji Shabji, or Jindochroch is Sami Wantanda.
Please repeat in order to receive the secret empowerment.
Chuji Shabji, Gadiji, Dark Lami, Chabato, Tejer Sami, Wankene, Gombo Jesu, Someone zo.
In English. With your kindness, grant me unsurpassed power, and thus protector, care for me by offering me the secret empowerment.
Oh, Danny Martin, Dochan George Uranda. I think it's my lord, I think that's Yabji, someone may make on the home, Doji Corbuzi, Zing, Barandro, Omji, Semba, Hoga, Pisabo, Gaba, Yumji, someone may make Ali, Bima, Marabo, Dama, Jepa, Sandru, and Sambe, Deva. Wabi Zari, Marabo, Zamba, Yamian Barhobe, Chancho, Jibon, Jibon, Jimbale, Gabat, Niki Wanchogat, and David Wachiga. Then the Durjan, Zemo, Sombeneji, Deva Yams, Yon Maracho, Nimjo, Ranke, Tuki, to KG, someone Wujiti, Batamchi, Yumbara Shopan Zibi, Darkijan, Shito, Be, Chapashimbo, Hudi, Kazan, Ju Harbi, Rank Chansim, Rebe, the Yabach. Tamchi Kuem Ho Chore to Zay and Kasan Habare Choro. Do you want to accept that? Guys, deeper woman.
So, then the visualization here. So, visualize the Guru in the form of the innate Cakrasamvara with concert, and visualize the blessing of the secret place according to the sadhana. And through their union, light radiates from the seed syllable at my heart, the Cakrasamvara's heart, and summons the Buddhas in union with their consorts. They enter into my mouth, melt through great passion, and pass through the Vajra path, and enter the secret place of the mother. They merge with the bodhicitta drops and become the melted essence of all the Buddhas.
Debe Sanji, Debe Dorje, Chalaso Chitara, Sanji, Se Wan Goro, Chancho, Semji, Sambo, Jo Wan Goro, Che, Dust. Ote Darwan Gorobe, Chuchi Same, Bangi, Jin Koroshokin, Ton, Same, K1, Tobo, Antu Mon, Ajele, Chema, Jan, Arzapa, Jan, Chema, Damne, Antu Maive, Chema, Lunke, Chema, Dune, Loncho, Zopeko, Nu Pache, Parajan, Jobayan, Dazi, Labaran, Che, Gombala, Antigo Turko, Zondoje, Chobe, Garbajan, de Cheso.
Having thus received the empowerment, you enter and behold the mandala of the secret womb. You have received the secret empowerment. In general, the defilements of mainly the 4 non-virtuous deeds accumulated with the speech are purified and prevented from further arising. In particular, the defilement of the karmic winds are purified. The extraordinary power of the Sambhogakaya is planted into your mind. As for the path, you are empowered to engage in the practice of blessing yourself. As for the result, you are endowed with the fortune to actualize Vajra speech. So then next we will offer another mandala in order to receive the wisdom, knowledge, empowerment.
On page 7. An infinite array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. my body enjoyments and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine. By offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping, completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial. The supreme Mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Deva Da Kini Ratna Mandala Prakticha Soha.
tene tata di shira I wang kutong ta la sur wan de jin do chi.
Then again, in order to receive the wisdom, knowledge, empowerment, please repeat.
Jum dian she wa
Chomden Shiva,
chen bo je
Jumboche,
dorje nen jor
Dorje
ji gi ba
Rinpoche,
mi chi chak ja
Rinpoche Chapter,
dro ba bo
Drupon
dorje jor li
Rinchen Dorje
yang da chung
Rinpoche,
che dar chu ne
Rinpoche,
dang ni che
Lineage
nga da da lang
of Mandala,
te dar zu
Dorje,
korban dam je
Prabhupada,
so na de jing wa jia mi
Primordial,
da la jo
Bhagavan, great peaceful one, the single intent of Vajra Yoga, who accomplished the indestructible mudra, you are born from the exalted Vajra union. I beseech you, a great being, powerful Lord, please impart it also unto me. Please protect me, a helpless being, from drowning in the swamps of samsara.
Lo pong je rima chen den la pa yong pe song we ye lo me ye su di pa song wa ye su ma ye wong de chu je den ja sang je nam je da ko lo re jur ba ye de ba tam pa nyong wa ji do je ji chung ke sim je na ro nang do ji ba ji kang de le je jur yi je de ne me jur de ce song ya do ye lo pong je rima chen den se ten do ye on the what me wo me set it house yi xie ti ne wo me si do yo de ga wa xi ti yo ndo de ji dong de an sang ma dong ya ne lo ma ne je ye me ri ma ya mi wa ka sang jin je la be yap je zong me hon do ji ga bo ze hong le do je gar bo ze ji be no om je sen ba ho ga se pi se bo ga ba yum ji zong me we ale be mama bo dama je ba sen ru sen ba de ba ha be sa ye ma bo sen ba ye me nyu ba be chang chou sen je wo ne jin ba le be ga ba tin ni ke hwa chou ka tin de be hwa che ga ten de dur jen dur ze mo zong be ne je je be de wa jin bo nyam su nyu ma shu om sarva ta tang ga ta an rang ga ma dar so ba wa ima ga nyang hong xie nyu yo je so ba na je be chang.
So now here, the Vajra Master offers with his left hand a qualified consort into the right hand of the disciple. And so the visualization in brief is the disciple, so you appear in the form of innate Cakrasamvara in union with the consort. This union blesses the secret place, the secret chakra, according to how it is described in the sadhana. Then as they unite, moving back and forth, the bodhicitta drops flow from the point between the eyebrows to the throat. This is joy. When it reaches the heart, it is supreme joy. At the navel, it is extraordinary joy. And at the jewel, it is co-emergent joy. From the heart of the disciples, visualized as the deity, light radiates and summons the Buddhas, the male and the female Buddhas. They enter his or her mouth and bless their body. Also, the Guru invites the male and female Buddhas who then enter the Guru's mouth, and they become inseparable from you and the Guru. So at this time, one holds the drops as long as one can, and when one cannot no longer retain the drops, one lets them flow out slowly, And once it's discharged as a liquid, take it with your tongue, and from within a state of suchness, abiding in suchness, drink the bodhicitta drops, which is the samaya by nature.
Te dara wang goro we chuji gunzop changcho semje jingko shukin tong shirao ihe wang to tumo wa yije le zoma chima ngar za bara changhe chima dam ne tumo mayi ba sungzi je nampo ra hua chima zhu ne chuji gu nupa che par jen joba yin lamji jingko gomba kolo gomba la wang jiwe to durje chobe karba jen to che yesus.
And then, having thus received the empowerment, you enter and behold the mandala of the relative bodhicitta. You have received the wisdom, knowledge, empowerment. In general, the defilements of mainly the three non-virtuous deeds accumulated with the mind are purified and prevented from further arising. In particular, the defilements of the coarse conceptions or thoughts of grasping at a subject-object duality are cleansed. The extraordinary power of the Dharmakaya is planted into your mind. As for the path, you are empowered to meditate on visualize the mandala Tsok. As for the result, you are endowed with the fortune to actualize the Vajra mind. And then again, in order to receive the fourth empowerment, we will offer a mandala.
Page 7. An innate array of worlds, each with 4 continents and the wealth of infinite oceans of realms. If I bring them all to mind and offer them without exception, please hold with compassion all the beings they contain. My body, enjoyments, and whatever I own, my aggregates, elements, and sense sources, my aspirations now and in times to come, as well as everything I grasp as mine, by offering them all, may I be blessed with the end of self-grasping. Completely liberated from the bounds of real and unreal, transcending the names and concepts of arising, cessation, and abiding, coming and going, affirmation and denial, the supreme mandala is the natural state. By offering it, may I be blessed to attain the state of Buddhahood. Om Guru Deva Da Kini Ratna Mandala Prakticha Swoha.
And then
please repeat the following in order to receive the fourth empowerment. With your kindness, I have obtained the 3 empowerments of the principal deity, protector, please care for me by offering me now the precious 4th empowerment.
Drupon mi ba ke chorobe te kona ni ji chotam chi zamji me cha ba ni ji rangji yana du de yana du dan de me cha za chimbo da ni dorjen chang chimbo rangji jian wang xi be yi xie yin la te yang wang sun pe gab ji gab su ngo ji be ne ji xi ra yi ti ni jiang tong ne ji ji be dribu nyu gu da be yin la te da be chang chu sim ten ne gombar xi be gong ne kong de rab den pe ya xi ba le Drupal Samji Siba Miba Hindu Chorwe Te Konani Ji Chu Tamji La Samji Mechabe Rangi Wasi Chu Ji Gu Tang Yana Dun Tang Denbe Taku Shakza Shenbu Ngobo Long Chu Zobe Gu Dani Yer Mibe Songju Dorje Chang Chenbu Rangi Kang Yinba Te Wang Shibe Ngobo Yinba Do Para Chu Shes Watama Lo Shan.
And so the 4th empowerment is also called the word empowerment, which indicates that there is no empowerment substance or symbol. It is introduced to only through words. And so now these are the words here. Bodhicitta is the cause of wisdom and knowledge. Therefore, if you habituate to it, wisdom will vastly increase. The unfathomable nature of all phenomena, the fundamental reality as it is free from all obscurations. Its essence is Mahamudra, endowed with the 7 attributes of Vajradhara. This is the primordial wisdom of the fourth empowerment. The symbolic co-emergent wisdom introduced by the third empowerment is the cause of this result, which is the actual co-emergence. Through cultivating bodhicitta and habituating it, wisdom increases higher and higher. The clear light Dharmakaya is the basic space of reality that is free from all defilements of karma and obscurations. It is the unfathomable nature of all phenomena. The Sambhogakaya represents the essence of the sevenfold Mahamudra. The union of the Dharmakaya and the Sambhogakaya is the essence of the fourth empowerment.
Dorje sena da de do na kurban yum gres. Ma to nyang de yum ro gres. Yan do na sa je gres. Da ma to na kurban cham ro gres. Wa de dorje se shumge chibe to da. Tin ko sho ja sari. Wa nam ke ji da was nam ka ta u yo ma. De sem de ta u mi ba. Nam ka ta u yo ma wa. Wa de chi. Wa de ne duje tar chi shiba ni. Duje sena du sena sem ko ro mo la chma yo ma res. Du tham ji da che de. Tar chi sen na ko ngato derket ingbo zurlasho sanjik ingbo senana wati indu derket ingbo den tarchi do yonetam ji da den do koran ola shivare shivani choran yang ne te pa se da choran yang pa se na de semda da yihe tini sun de no re da sa pa pa no se den de zu ma le den wati chi wata ji dang da ngato de sa gomja go sha da de kama ka ji gomja na ra 다다티 자가 로봇도 세세진 도안 콩카르종 오세나 타메 시파 얘기 위네 시종 타메 시파서는 가서 준대한 시파들라 표다 준대한 시파다 얘기 위세 말해디 소시 얘기 위네 시 소로 달라 대바 준미시스 소로 세나다 가서 매 소통야다다 나베 자토야디 소토 키나르와 와도서 작당 쇼 소나데네 작당네 작당 쇼노 다랑 이마로 완다 통소나데네 아고 지바요 말아테 송지 남토 되어 말아테 동하 되어 말아 서로 달라 대화 주면지 제바 탐지 도미 동하를 주서 와당에 마스 송지 남토 치지 탐 동하리 말아 도미 동하를 더 다음에 이라 그 송지 남토 도미 동하를 주 곰트미바 유명한 쇼스 와다 곰트 미바 유명한 쇼스는 다 곰트미바서나 다 세마추바 라마 티카나나다 뉴마서나 다 공원의 시파들이 어때 시파 티가나 조코리스 어떤 다시 타메 시파서나 돼 말하래봐 타보는 무슨 거 타메 시피 냠내 초반 상제 매수 그냥 진리니 있어 와서 와서 타메 시파서 샘 송지 똑바쇼 마선 타메 시파서 냠내 치초쇼래 맞아 준대야 어때 송지 남토 쇼선 냠내 딱딱 안 줘쇼 말이야 맞아 샘 맞추어 배경 디스 대 냠내 와시 배탕다 This Gongja is
then it says here, primordial wisdom is vast yet subtle. It is like a vajra, like the center of the sky. It is immaculate perfection. It is peace. You are your own father. So primordial wisdom means that the awareness that has been there since beginningless time primordially. Then this awareness, your true nature, it is vast and yet subtle. So vast means that it is boundless, it is great, and also very meaningful, very profound. And subtle means that it is very difficult to recognize, to realize. Then it is like a vajra, because a vajra represents an invincible, indestructible nature, but it can destroy everything. So when you do not realize your true nature, then that lack of realization is what destroys nirvana. And when you realize your true nature, then that realization is what destroys samsara. then it says it is like the center of the sky, meaning that actually there is no center to the sky. The space has no center, no boundary. And likewise, your own mind has no center, no boundary. Then it is immaculate, that is, your mind, the true nature of your mind is without any defilement. Then it is perfection. Perfection means that your true nature is perfect as it is. And that nature is also referred to as Buddha nature, or the essence or the potential to become a Buddha. So it is perfect as it is. All qualities are already complete within your true nature. And then, so this nature is peaceful. So the essence of this nature is great peace. And then you are your own father. Means that there's no distinction between you being your ordinary mind and this primordial wisdom. They are all one. So you are your own father. And so at this point during the fourth empowerment, we should meditate for a few minutes. Regarding the meditation, Indian master Dzogchen had said that when you meditate, then the ordinary consciousness will awaken in the center of your heart. So this ordinary consciousness is this normal consciousness, your mind, that's all your normal consciousness that you always have on an ongoing basis. And awakening in your heart means that when you see it, then ignorance is cleared away. You awaken from ignorance. And then he says that then there is no grasping at the 6 sense objects. So normally we perceive things through the 6 consciousnesses. For example, we see sights, forms with our eyes, or we hear sounds with our ears and so on. And normally, whatever sense object we encounter generally leads to thoughts of attachment and aversion. We gravitate to these sense objects with our sense consciousnesses naturally. But then once you have realized that there is no delineation between subject and object, there is no subject and object duality, then naturally you will no longer grasp or cling to these objects. Your consciousness will not gravitate to them because you have recognized that they are inseparable from yourself, and therefore there is no suffering. So therefore you realize at that point that all the suffering that was created in the past by your belief in the separate existence of these appearances only led to futile suffering, meaningless suffering, because all of this doesn't really exist. So therefore, you should rest without any deliberate meditation in the innate natural state of mind itself. So without deliberate meditation means to just rest naturally, without anything to do. And the innate state, that is that ordinary consciousness, that's this ongoing normal mind that you always have. Also, Gampopa said about the instruction that he received from Milarepa, he said that I have now recognized the ordinary consciousness through the grace of the Guru, who is the Buddha appearing in human form. So what he had recognized is that it's nothing else, your true nature is nothing else than the ordinary consciousness. And you recognize it if you do not develop dualistic thoughts of self and other. So there's this awareness that's always there, and therefore you can always practice with it. You can always be in a state in a meditative state, recognizing your own consciousness. It is just that when you, even though you practice, if you still continue to develop thoughts of subject and object, self and other, then your practice will never actually become really authentic this way. So the key point is to rest in an uncontrived, an unfabricated, unaltered natural state. So Now, in the fourth empowerment, we should, in the context of the fourth empowerment, we should meditate here for a few minutes.
데 자르왕 고르베 주지 동당 장저심지 진거리고 반통시 왕시 바 지광은 보제 토두몽 예 고섬제 점마 자모 화자당제 바nga 자바 장신신 마담 두몽 마이베 이해제 점마 송지 남토 참모 주네 오보니 그 대화 진보고 대화제 바르전조 남차자 진보 송조 곰발라 왕 내저 곰발라 왕 지부 지부 돌제 좀로 냠베이 Having
thus received empowerment, you enter and behold the Mandala of ultimate bodhicitta. You have received the fourth empowerment, the precious word empowerment. In general, the subtle defilements of the three doors and their habitual imprints are purified and prevented from further arising. In particular, the defilements of primordial wisdom, the subtle conceptual thoughts of a subject-object duality are cleansed. The extraordinary power of the great bliss Svabhavika Kaya is planted into your mind. As for the path, you are empowered to practice the Mahamudra Yoga of Union. As for the result, you have the fortune to accomplish the primordial wisdom Vajra, that is the sameness of the three Vajras.
지도 되네 저동다 되는 뭐지 필요와 나서 마늘아디 괜찮아 진도 같으니 나서 상가서 탐색 남에 가서 땜진다 진도 땜지 된도 다른 뭐지 좀 너무 똑똑한 동보대 가르고 효상과 다도 루치 대하면 괜찮아 진도 Oh, that's interesting. I'm saying that again, oh, that's interesting. The answer is something I got to Dimji Law and Roya, Serezanga, says it's a door shot. Dimja Law and Roya, the Yung Doya, Lama, the Compagong, Karo, so how could Marasha? Ah. Maria Rinpoche, you don't know Tombores, Dopan Tombore, Yaman Tombo, they want Mazunda in our other most pair with another Kinsan in those. You know, that me on Rigmados in a long part you glean. The answer Lama Tombo, so the Dimdia, the Momo, the door, the Dera. What do you do on the on Madagachi and also Shikmara, the Dera, and Ramirasanta, the Ruchi, the Kais.
So that completes the empowerment. So now Garchen Rinpoche came for the empowerment to receive it. Feel a bit embarrassed about it because actually Rinpoche is the one with the high realization and is the one who gives empowerment, and then he comes to receive this empowerment. And so then. But then also in Vajrayana, everything has there's an auspicious connection between things that happen, and so that's why even though I felt quite a bit uncomfortable, I also felt that it wouldn't be really auspicious if I wouldn't then if I would say like I can't do it or so. So that's why I basically I hung in there patiently.
And
so that's why I don't know because the Lama has high realization, Rinpoche has high realization, and so I don't know like what, maybe there's some special intent, something that he sees in his mind that maybe I don't see.
That time it's over the Chamni Chanjo Sam to Gom. That you don't know Dorje Loma, Tamse Suyanga Yorova. That also Loma Shirashik Loma Karakara, Paso Hakogmara. Hakogmara, and wanted to help produce it in the industry, only Korora. You didn't know Masoma Yam to know Yorosha, think Paso Shaker, and that. I think Marasha, they some general Panji Tochi, no machina, so no machivachina, to them say some of the sound of this, Chamni Chanjo, compare Yakon to Toton. So some chance there, no machina. They go Loma, so the part of Tambo with him, so the Tamse no the Ora. What the chi? What the chi, so that Chamni Chanjo sent to compare the Yat, that one can say is. What the Katan Bazaja, what is Zatam, or the Yaboris. Or Maria didn't do it. Oh, I but as I had to Satum Pedro. Zanara. What did she? Oh, that interesting.
So at the end of every empowerment, there is a SAMAYA. And so the main SAMAYA is to cultivate love and compassion and bodhicitta. So now, normally, when we receive an empowerment, so then we all together, and there's the disciples and the Vajra master are together. But now we are not really actually in each other's physical presence, and so then we haven't even met. Many of us haven't even met or know each other at all, and still we need to keep the SAMAYA with each other. So it's a little bit like different. The idea of it seems a bit different than usual when we actually receive empowerment together. But in any case, so we should therefore understand it in a much more broader sense. In that, it means that so the SAMAYA means that we try to help benefit sentient beings as much as we can, and if we cannot benefit them, at least we should not harm them. So that's most important: is to cultivate bodhicitta as much as you can. And then, of course, as we mentioned before, if you are able to accumulate 100,000 of the Cakrasamvara mantras in your life, then that would be excellent too.
Oh, yeah, then
please repeat.
Zovo Chedara, Gazarva, Teda Samchi, Dakachi, Changcho Simcho,
Chancho Semchok,
Rinpoche,
Rinpoche,
Machi Banam,
Makye Banam,
Jejurje,
Jejoche,
Jewa Nyamba,
Jeba Nyampa,
Mibayan,
Nevayan,
Kone Kontu,
Kone Konto.
Pervaraj, Perho.
English. I will do all you, the Principal Lord, commands. May precious bodhicitta arise where it has not yet arisen. May it not decline where it has arisen, and may it ever further increase. So this completes the empowerment. I'd like to thank you for joining wherever you are. And please take good care of your bodies, of your health. And I pray that your practice, you will practice well, and that you will be well and happy in your bodies and minds.
Thank you. 공성고 샤그래 고 말하다 인지로 아니 that's not
We'll do the long life prayers in the yellow prayer book on page 22. For this realm, encircled by snow-covered mountains, you are the source of all benefit and happiness. Tenzin Gyatso, Lord Chenrezig, may you remain steadfast until the end of samsara. Embodiment of the three jewels, great being who upholds and increases the teachings of the Shakya lion. Supreme are your activities of guiding others with your perfect deeds. May you, the precious Guru who accomplishes everything spontaneously, live long. Holder of the teachings of the Lord Drigumpa, great Lord of the three jewels, through the power of your peerless compassion and the holy Dharma's peace and light, you bring relief to beings. May your life be long. The one known in the noble land as Arya Deva emanated into the Gar clan of eastern Tibet as Chodingpa, the heart son of Jigten Gompo. May the life of the glorious Garchen remain steadfast for 100 eons. Page 28. May the teachings of the great Drigumpa Ratna Shri, Master of Interdependence, Omniscient Lord of Dharma, who has seen all knowable things, be upheld until the end of psychic existence through study, practice, hearing, contemplation, and meditation. Your 1,000 arms are the 1,000 wheel-turning kings. Your 1,000 eyes are the 1,000 Buddhas of this fortunate eon. Your love is boundless like space. I supplicate to the Bodhisattva, Chenrezig.
Oi mane be me hore, oi mane be me hore, oi mane be me hore, oi mane be Never Dzambhala Deyizola Gubarjo.
Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Thank you, Drupon Rinchen Dorje Rinpoche, for bestowing the empowerment. And thank you to Garchen Rinpoche for joining us, which was very much a surprise, wonderful surprise. And thank you to the Garchen Institute Lamas. And please join us this afternoon for the first practice session of the Cakrasamvara sadhana at 2 p.m. Arizona time, and the sadhana link will be live in about 3 minutes for your so you can download the text. Thank you.